Okay, is that you, Ollie?
Okay. Do something spooky, actually.
Spooky?
Yeah. Go.
Spooky! These lights are blinding me legit, I swear.
Yeah. Just go to the right, just slightly. Oh my god. Oh my god. And
Can you
then
see my hands in the shot or not?
Yeah, yeah. And then go, I'm the moon. Go on.
It's the moon. Hi guys, so today we are going to do a requested video, and my friend Brandon requested this a while back, but when we were talking about it, it was coming up to Christmas and I wanted to get all my Christmas videos done and stuff, so I was like, I'll do that in the new year. We're going to talk about my favourite films of all time. This was going to be like a top 5. That just seemed to work out for me. So yeah, I also want to, like, you know, chat about what's going on back here, because some green screen and some lights did come into our house from Santa at Christmas, so we're having a little bit of a play around. Let me know what you think about it. Am I better lit? What do you think about this? Is it any good? I just thought it'd be a bit better than the living room wall. Giving it a try. We'll see what we do. So here's my list of lists. And this is in no particular order, it's just my favourite films. Obviously, your favourite films can change depending on your mood and things like this, but this is my current list. The first on the list is The Red Shoes. This is a really old film, but it is beautifully made. It looks beautiful. It's about a dancer who's, like, you know, addicted to dancing, and she loves it, and she's, like, you know, gonna get this the brilliant dream of being a ballerina, and then it all falls apart. It's really tragic but really beautifully shot. The colours are beautiful, everything about it is amazing. I love this film. Yes. The second film on my list is a bit of a sort of staple for the goth geek community at large, I suppose, and it is Legend. So you've got Tom Cruise as the little sort of forest kid, and then you've got Tim Curry as the badass devil of the night, and it's just so wicked. So I love this film. It looks beautiful. When I was growing up, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I just want to go and meet unicorns and play with the fairies in the forest. And there was a forest by my house that kind of looked a bit like that if you squinted. But we didn't have, like, the water and stuff. But it was wicked. You know, when you're a kid and you've got an active imagination, you can make anything happen. And, like, Tim Curry in it is just boss. He's just like, yes, amazing. Dark side, woo! I'm feeling it. The third film on my list is similar vein to Legend, and it is Labyrinth. So we've got David Bowie, dance, magic, dance, magic, dance, magic, dance. So the next on my list is Identity, which is a John Cusack movie. I really like John Cusack. He does some really great films. And Identity is great because it's kind of like a Hitchcock film in modern day. You know, there's all these people that have been brought to this motel, and they all seem to be linked somehow, and then they all seem to be dying somehow, and we don't know what's going on until the very, very end. I love films like that. But even when I re-watch it, the fact that I've seen it and I know the ending doesn't spoil it for me, because it's still a great film. You can re-watch it and still get the same enjoyment out of it. The next film is 1408, the director's cut, which again is another John Cusack film. I love this film very much for the similar reasons, because you're not sure whether he's going mad, he's been drugged, he's having a bad dream, or whether the place is really haunted. You're not really sure, you don't know what's going on. And I love films like that where you just don't really know what's going on, and you're like that, oh my god, what's going on? It's a great film. The colours are really good in this film. It's shot beautifully, the scenes are really good. I watched the behind the scenes documentary about it, and they were like telling them how they did all the things with the room and stuff, and it's just great because it's really encapsulated in a room, but it's not claustrophobic. It doesn't feel claustrophobic to watch, even though it's one man in a room having a breakdown. It's not like that at all. It's a great film. Definitely look it up. I saw the cinematic release when it came out of the pictures because I was waiting for it for like a year. And I was desperate to see this film. And when I went to see it at the cinema, I was kind of like, oh, that wasn't very good. But when the director's cut came out, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It made a lot more sense. It was a much more proper film than the cinematic release. So if you saw it at the cinema and you didn't like it, get the director's cut because it was brilliant. The next film on my list is a remake, and it is The Wolfman. This film is amazing. It's got Anthony Hopkins in it. What's not to love? You know that I love Anthony Hopkins with every fibre of my being. Anthony Hopkins is great in this film because he's like sinister and scary but a bit tortured, and you don't really know what's going on, but he's not the main character either. But it's all like a really great film. It's so good. The colours in this film are amazing. It's beautifully shot, and it's shot like an old film. It is shot as if it was a film made in the 50s, and I love that about it. Everything was proper, no CGI. Everything was like, proper filmmaking. It's a beautiful film. I love this film so much that I've got an Anthony Hopkins quote from the film tattooed on my arm. It says, "Never look back, the past is a wilderness of horrors." The next is another Anthony Hopkins film. Surprise, surprise. It is Hannibal. This is a Ridley Scott film, which obviously most of you will know that I love Ridley Scott. This is a great film because you've got Hannibal in the world being Hannibal-y. He's like, all over it with the eating and killing and whatnot. So he's in the world rather than being incarcerated, giving his pearls of wisdom. And I really love that. I love the relationship between Anthony Hopkins and Julianne Moore. And the baddie is really bad, and you're not sure what's going to happen to Hannibal, what's going to happen to Clarice. And then the FBI are trying to, go behind her back and everything. It's a really great story. It's a really good story. It's very different to the book, but I actually like the film better than the book. That's just my opinion. The next film is a low-budget horror film, and it's called Stay Alive. I never saw this film at the cinema. I picked it up in HMV when it was like 3 DVDs for 20 quid or something, because I just wanted to watch a film that I'd never seen before on a Saturday night when I weren't going out. And I really like this film. It's got some good characters in it. You've got a group of mates, and one of the mates is the beta tester for computer games, and he commits suicide, or so they think. So one of the friends inherits all the computer games he has been beta testing, and in his honour, they play this game called Stay Alive. And then all of a sudden, one by one, they start dying the same way as they die in the game. And they have to figure out how, why, what, blah, 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 before everybody dies. And it's a really good film for a film that I wasn't expecting much of. It's one of those films that I like to go to put on when you just want to put something on that you've already seen loads of times, and it doesn't matter if you're concentrating or not. It's a good film. The main baddie is like Elizabeth Bathory, and she's trying to kill everybody in the game, and it's just a really good film. I really enjoyed it. The next film on my list is an all-time classic, The Wizard of Oz. This is a great film. Glorious Technicolor doesn't even cut it, because even films after this were made never looked the same way as The Wizard of Oz looks. It's just a beautiful looking film, and the story is great and the characters are great. I love Professor Marvel, my favourite, and the Cowardly Lion. I love how the characters in her real life, the black and white life, are the same as the people that she meets in the Land of Oz. I love that sort of detail. I love the story. Everything about it is great. Next is a film called The Sin Eater. I really love this film because although it's like spooky and supernaturally, it's not a horror film. It's a really good story. So there's a man who's like eats people's sins before they die, and he takes them on as his own. But he's like been doing it for ages, and he's too tired now. He needs somebody else to do it. But the man he's picked has got too much to live for. It's a very good story. The characters are really, really interesting. There's some good things going on in it. It's also one of these coloured, really nice films. It's a really interesting film. So if you like spooky films with a bit of a supernatural edge, but you don't like horror films, this would definitely be something that you should look up. Next on my list is a Disney classic. It is Sleeping Beauty. This is my favourite Disney film. It's got a great baddie in it. You got a prince, and he hacks through the forest, and he's going to come and get the Sleeping Beauty. She's been asleep for 100 years. I wish I could sleep for 100 years. Lucky lady. So yeah, and then they live happy ever after, and you got the 3 little fairy godmothers and them looking after proceedings. It's just a brilliant film. I love that film. I'm not sorry. Now I'm going to give you some additional but too obvious for the main list films that I really like. So I nearly even never said these films, but I just thought, you know what? I'm going to say these films. First up on my list of additional too obvious is Star Wars A New Hope. You've got drama, you've got action, adventure, droids, romance. What's not to love? Next up is Alien, the director's cut. Again, Ridley Scott, loving it. This film, I just love the director's cut Alien. It's just like when you've had a bad day in the office or you're feeling a bit low or whatever, you can just put Alien on and just feel better about everything. It's just a brilliant film, and it doesn't look dated. It doesn't look rubbish. It's just awesome. I love that film. I love everything about the Alien universe. So that also leads me on nicely to Prometheus. Prometheus is the Marmite of sci-fi. You either love it or you hate it. Nobody sits in the middle saying it was all right. Everybody goes, I loved it, it was amazing, or that was rubbish, I hated it. Everybody does that. Nobody sits in the middle going, yeah, it was okay. Nobody does that. I sit on the fence of loving. I love that film. I love the engineers. They're searching for where they came from. The characters are amazing. The colours are brilliant. Everything about that film I love. And am I the only one that's looking forward to Alien Covenant? Please tell me you are also waiting for Alien Covenant, because I can't wait for May. I swear, I'm so excited. It's ridiculous. Next on my list of additional but too obvious is Predators. Predators, again, is a great film because the characters are awesome. You think that these random convicts have been put on a planet to die, basically, because it's like some kind of blood sport predator, blah, blah. But then you find out about the characters and you're just like, oh my God, what's that man done and who's this and blah, blah. And then they start helping each other and what we're going to do. But like, you just kind of think, well, what are you going to do? Because you're either going to die or you're going to die because you don't even know where you are. So I love Predators, great film. And Predator, as a standalone figure, is one of my favourite monsters of all time. Next on my list is Beetle Juice. When I first saw this film, when it was a very long time ago, I can remember thinking, wow, what did I just watch? That was amazing. Beetle Juice. Yeah, say his name 3 times, live to regret it. Everything's good about this. There's some great characters in it. I love the colours that it's shot in. It's just beautiful. It's a great film. It's hysterically funny, and it's probably responsible for some of the most quoted catchphrases in our generation. Last on the list is The Crow. Now, when I first saw this film, I remember thinking, I like this idea. There's a crow, there's vengeance, you know, there's some baddies that are really bad. And those baddies are cool baddies, like they're really good characters. And I love the colours again. It's shot in some beautiful colours. It's also very dilapidated background. It's constantly raining. It looks a bit post-apocalyptic, but it could be set now. It doesn't have any kind of time frame restrictions around it. It could be the 80s. It could be today. It could be 30 years in the future. It's got that look about it. I love the idea of the story. I love everything about it. I really hope they don't remake it, because every now and again we keep catching The Crow's going to get remade. The Crow's not going to be remade because it's like, you know, a terrible film to remake because it's jinxed and all this sort of thing. I just hope they leave it alone. There's no need to remake it. It doesn't look dated. It doesn't look terrible. It's a brilliant film. Please leave it alone. So that was a list of some of my favourite films. I do hope that you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye!